it comes to Pope Francis, well, this was a historic trip to Canada. This is a time where the Pope has visited after a delegation of indigenous community went to the Vatican earlier this year to talk about the hardships and the issues they suffered at the hands of the Canadian government and the Catholic Church for residential schools, and then the unidentified bodies of burials of residential schools of unidentified children that were found just last year and have been discovered throughout many different residential schools throughout the country. This is a trip that the Pope calls a pilgrimage of penance, where he met with many of the indigenous communities, and today he's in Quebec City and he will depart from Iqaluit later today. Now, the schedule begins with private meetings at the Archbishop of Quebec's residence, and then it's expected to, the Pope is expected to speak with a delegation of indigenous people. Later today, Pope Francis is to travel to Iqaluit, where he will take part in other private meetings with residential school survivors. For many, this was something that was much needed, as this was a time for them to be able to hear the apology and to be able to heal those wounds. There's also outdoor meetings with young people and elders before traveling back to the Vatican later today. And during the tour, well, the stops included Alberta, where the Pope apologized for the role of the Roman Catholic institution that played in the residential school system. And also some have said that the apologies did not go far enough, because they say that the Pope failed to make it clear that the Catholic Church, not just a few bad people, were responsible for residential school abuses. And that's been some of the criticism towards the Pope's trip and his level of apology. Critics have also said that he should have rescinded the doctrine of discovery. Well, what is that? Well, it dates back to the 15th century, and this doctrine of discovery was what was used to justify colonization of North America. And what you'll see in terms of the evening of Mass that took place in Quebec City, well, that's where the Pope acknowledged sexual abuse that was inflicted on minors and vulnerable people, and to that he says he's sorry. This is a time where we're seeing so much chaos in the world and so much instability, and when you see the war in Ukraine that has been started by the Russian forces since February 24th. This is a time where you're seeing the Pope coming to make an apology and hopefully to stop the vicious cycle of what the Indigenous people have experienced here in Canada and perhaps in other places as well, and for that generational pain not to continue further than it needs to. So this was definitely the first step towards that.